inspire you, lift you up, give you some practical everyday nuggets that you can use in your business. We got an all-star cast for this evening. Superstar lineup. Tell your friends. Tell your business partners. Come on in. Hey, that's that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode, rendition, whatever you're supposed to call it. What's the Word Wednesdays? They call me Eric Clifton, one of your directors here with this opportunity. And I'm going to let everybody in front of you right now go ahead and introduce themselves, starting with ladies first. Go ahead and introduce yourself, young lady.
Good evening. Thank you, directors. It's a pleasure to be on here. I am Latasha. I'm out of Beltsville, Maryland, close to Laurel and College Park, if y'all don't know where that is. I am a Go Builder here on the team and excited to be here.
Awesome.
Go Builder Plus, sorry.
Go Builder Plus. Let it be known. We also have another young lady on this episode of What's the Word Wednesday. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, great evening, everyone. My name is Danielle Winston, originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am almost a director in training, so I'm soon to be. So 2020 Go Builder Plus.
Congrats. And go ahead to our number one recurring guest on the show. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
You know, it's nothing like having that reoccurring guest spot, right? Guys, for those of you who do not know, I am Daryl Jenkins. I am a member of the Elite 4040 Club. I am also a two-star director and master ambassador with IntelliTravel.
Did you hear the resume, ladies and gentlemen?
The resume.
Master ambassador with IntelliTravel. Mic drop. Go ahead. And last but not least, we have on here.
This is Roger Lillard, one-star director here, planning marketing, residing now in Baltimore, Maryland, but from the big city, the still town of Pittsburgh. So, you know, Pittsburgh's in the building on tonight, y'all. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, but you live in Baltimore, so yeah. that's all that matters right now. You live in Baltimore, buddy. You're a B-more guy right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, a topic of discussion for this evening, we're going to be talking about investing into yourself, right? Investing into yourself. And you happen to be your business, right? We always say people do business they know, like, and trust. You ultimately are your business. We also teach you guys to brand yourselves. So you should be, if nothing else, investing in yourself. And one of the best ways to invest in yourself during this season, right, is through events, right? And the more recent event that we just had, there's been some buzz about it. It's called Eagle Weekend. And we have some people on here who have been to multiple Eagle Weekends. And we also have some people on here who have gone to their first Eagle Weekend. And we also have some people on here right now who have gone to 0 Eagle Weekends, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be talking about, along with investing in yourself, we're going to be talking about how important it is, how powerful it is going to events like this, what your takeaways were, your aha moments, why someone else should do what you've already done. And for those of us who have never gone, why we're going to try to make it our business to be at the next Eagle Weekend and or next major event. So, Mr. Lillard, I'm going to let you go ahead and start off with the first question. Pick anyone on the screen. Just go ahead and shoot straight from the hips. Fire them off.
Fantastic. Appreciate it, my friend. And this is for either lady. It doesn't matter. One of you all can answer the question. What's one takeaway when you came back from that event? Well, give us one thing that you say, you know what, this is why I'm going to go every year. But what's the one thing that you could say that you took away from that trip, that event, I should say?
Dad, don't everybody speak at once.
I'll go ahead and start. The one takeaway I took from the Eagle Weekend is to really really use your leadership, really join arms with them. They want the best for you. Really just to check in with them, make sure that you're doing all that you can be for yourself and your team. So it's really my takeaway was really like leadership. I think we go into that hat of like thinking that we have to know everything or do everything ourselves when really we have our upline leadership to help us and guide us.
Awesome. So, same question for Latasha. Then I'd like to hear that your takeaway on that.
My takeaway from the weekend was access. And it was access to people, it was access to lifestyles, it was things that I wasn't able to see in my everyday life, but having the opportunity to have those one-on-one conversations. So as a goal builder, I had the opportunity to sit down and actually talk one-on-one with very specific questions. Back in our back offices, the trainings are very general, but being able to have that access during that time. And then also when we got on the yacht, it was so much more than being on a yacht. Actually, that was the least of it for me, right? So when it was food time, I got my plate and Mr. Shedrick did not have anybody eating with him. So why not? You know, have a conversation. And we talked about more than just the business. We talk about investments. What did it take to go from being a waiter through the network marketing industry and now here? So what's different? What was it like when you were back there and how can you help? So just being able to have that access, that was a huge takeaway for me.
I love it. So since we're going around the room right now, we just got finished hearing from two people who have matter of fact, Latasha, this was your first time going, right? So hats off to you, your first time going. I forgot to ask Danielle, but when you gave your answer, have you gone to many of these before? This was your first one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes. Sorry. Yes, it was actually, I think, my third one.
Your third one. Okay, awesome. So now hearing from someone, Mr. Two Jackets himself, we know I think Two Jackets has gone to every one since we've joined the opportunity. So your takeaway from this one in particular, we'll hear from you about the other ones.
My takeaway from this one was, at my level as a director in the company, understanding that, we often talk about attrition being natural, but just understanding that our organizations are naturally going to go through a purging process. And a lot of people, if you aren't comfortable with watching yourself go through that and rebuilding, coming back much stronger, you probably are not going to last long in this industry. So for me, that was probably one of the most powerful takeaways from the entire weekend.
They shared that with you on and because I know you all had a training there, right? Is it before the cruise, after, or both?
It's a combination of both. So it's literally an all-day event. It's from sun up 8 o'clock in the morning. They have it segmented. It's goal builders have their own segment where only goal builders. So if there's like bronze or silver builders, you can't get access to the goal builders training. Hence, while we are pushing people to become goal builder, because that is the point of access for most of the things that you need to be able to get yourselves involved in, to be around the room with the millionaires, right? You have to be at goal builder and above. And so just having that conversation with individuals about where their business is going to go, because a lot of people get frustrated watching their numbers. But just having that training, and it was done by JP Watkins. You guys, if you know anything about her, she is a phenomenal trainer. Like, her training was so good. I think they need to record that and put it in the back office. Like, it was by far it was the best, in my opinion, out of the 3 presentations that I saw. And it gave, again, like I said, depending on where you are in your business, it gives you a certain level of a push to kind of push your business to go in either direction. Some people could sit on their hands and watch the attrition. Other people could use that fuel to say, we understand that we're going to have some attrition. And what are we going to do? Are we going to rebuild it, or are we just going to watch it happen? So that would be,
I love it. Tasha, I want to ask you a question, because not only are you new with us as it pertains to joining this opportunity, not brand new like last week, but in comparison to the group that's on the call right now. So you're kind of fresh, and you made a sacrifice to invest in yourself to make it to this Eagle weekend, right? As a new person being in business, kind of speak to the other new people that are watching or maybe watching the recording. How important or how effective you attending not just an Eagle Weekend event, but because you attend like all kinds of events. You'll be at the Super Saturday this weekend. Like, I mean, you be hip hop, and you new in the business. And I remember one period of time you were attending more Super Saturdays than me and Mr. Lillard. And because you was, hey, it's a Super Saturday in New York, it's a Super Saturday in Nebraska, and you was everywhere. So, but explain to the new people why it's important to be at these events. I mean, obviously the one that you just came from in particular.
So when I first looked at Eagle Weekend, the price did, hit me a little bit at first in the beginning. It was $500, but $500 is a price, but the value that I would get from there. So it didn't take me long to say, go ahead. It's a write-off, figure this thing out and get there, because when I pay for school, it's for a reason, right? I have college tuition because I have to invest in myself. If anything worth having is worth having, you're probably going to have to pay for it. Mentorship, you can get some free mentorship, but to really get, like I said, that one-on-one personalized specific mentorship, there's going to have to be some sacrifices. There's going to have to be some, what can I not do for the next 2 months to make sure that I can get to this event? I spend a lot of money on stuff that is not going to come back and return to me, but I just felt it necessary, especially for this one. But even with the Super Saturday, some of our Super Saturdays, 25, 10, that adds up as well. But those are just prices to me. And I get something valuable every single Super Saturday, every PBR. It doesn't matter if it's the same information. I get nuggets every time because Mr. Clifton is going to tell a new story. Mr. Scott is going to give a new symbolism. And I'm like, I can use that. So whatever I can get to, free or sacrifice, I'm going to try to make it work.
And can I just add to that, though? I think that Latasha made a really good point that we do spend a lot of money on frivolous stuff that we don't even need, right? We have these, guilty pleasures every single month. I know for me, it's crabs and shoes, right? So if I could sacrifice that, but I also tell people we're in a business that pays us weekly. So I always look at what are the major events that I need to attend in a calendar year. We understand that we have the Super Saturdays, the $10 here, $20 there, $25. We know that we're going to have a convention. We know that it's a possibility we may have an Eagle Weekend. And again, over the last 2 years, it was kind of up in the air. The protocols kind of made people a little leery. And as Latasha mentioned, $500 for some people may be steep. But if I'm actively working my business and I understand I need $500, how many business partners do I need to bring into business to get $500? That is how we have to look at the things because your money should be recycled into the things that you have to go to. Let's not look at the price. Let's look at what is the work that we have to do to get there. Because for me, I don't care what it costs. When we had that director, and I remember we were sitting in the lobby at the Gaylord talking about the director summit, right? And when they dropped the price, we said, like, what are we going to get for this price? If I had to pay, because I paid for both, if I had to pick and choose which one I was going to go to, it would have been Eagle Weekend. Not to say that I didn't get anything from the director summit. I got a chance to see Planet Marketing's legal counsel. They hear directly from all of the legal representation on how our business is legally structured, right? For those people who don't believe in what we do. So that had value, but was it worth the price that I paid for that value? I got far more on how to manage the organization that's going to continue to bring me that residual check, to increase that residual check that I'm looking at every single month. So that's what I would say to add to Latasha. Sacrifice. We wouldn't have to sacrifice as much if we understood what we needed to pay for in a year, and we use that as the fuel to work the business.
And also, I want to piggyback off of just those two. I was one of the people I probably bought my ticket probably 2 weeks before, but I actually reached out to the Gold Builder group and was like, does anybody need a roommate? So the lovely Latasha, she had reached out to me and was like, yes. So she was actually my roommate. So I got to really understand and meet this beauty because I've never, like, we met, but we never really hung out like that. So I really got to just build a relationship and a bond. And a lot of people don't know this, but our flight was canceled 2 hours prior to leaving. And we was on the phone. We was like, we are going to make it work. And we like was calling everywhere. She was on the phone. Like I was searching stuff. We was like, this is something we cannot miss. And it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because when we got there, you know, everybody knows it was pouring. And then that Saturday when the sun came up and the training was over and we got to really like show out on there, like it was like we were meant to be there. Like it was amazing. Like, so I just wanted to really piggyback off of them as like sacrifice, like really diving into your business and really understanding that it wasn't about getting there, it wasn't about the yacht, it was about the knowledge that we're about to obtain from being in there and surrounded by people that want to see you win as well. So it was about that as well.
And we were talking about this in the room, Danny. I don't know if you remember, but when Mr. Bradley said you give Louis 500 more than 500 for a bag, you give Louis, he already cajillions rich, and you give more than 500 to Louis, but you won't give it to yourself. Yeah.
We got quiet. We was gonna let that one sink in. We was gonna let that sink in, right? Because it might not be Louis, right, fellas? It's something, right?
Jordans, whatever.
Sometimes people ask me, man, how come where the dudes at? How come where the guys at? Now me, I can't give no excuses. You're not gonna hear one. I have yet to have gone to an Eagle weekend. Y'all can point your finger, shame on me. You won't get an excuse from me as to why we have. Although I can give you 1,000 excuses, we will never give you an excuse. We just have it planned, like Daryl was talking about. That's why planning is so important. We talk about it. See, we have not to date properly planned to attend Eagle Weekend. So which means we need to, I'm speaking to myself, we need to sit down, map out, plan these things out, and purposely plan to be at some of these monumental events like the convention. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't gotten your convention tickets or you don't plan on, or you're planning on going, you know, this is the time to do so. You want to be making these events. Speaking of investing into yourself, if we're talking about getting into these events, another way of investing into yourself, into your own business, because see, some of you don't even understand why you should invest into yourself, right? You haven't read the top 10 distinctions between the middle class and the millionaires. So your mindset on running or operating your business is slightly, you know, it's not where it should be. And you haven't spent any real money on educating yourself probably since school, right? What's the last book you bought? And we're telling you to get 5 of them, 2 of them online for free. So what's the last book that you've purchased for yourself to learn you something new, right? They tell you if you learn more, you can earn more. So now we're transitioning. Speak about, anybody can speak on it first, what type of money you're spending on courses, books, and go ahead and name drop so somebody can say, hey, you know, I got this book, it's helping me, or whatever. Anything, courses, books, something that's helping you with your business today.
Good book I purchased about a month ago called Relentless, and Mr. Scott had been sharing that with me for probably about, so I'll say several months, and I finally purchased it.
No, several years.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So looking to be more relentless in my you know, just in my business in general, you know, in every phase of my business. I'm truly excited about, you know, what's going on right now in the industry. So if you're relentless in your business right now, it's impossible not to have any success. If you're relentless in scheduling your schedule together for your business, if you're relentless in learning how to book travel, if you're relentless in learning how to build a network, if you're relentless in learning how to build relationships, if we add that to everything that we're going to do, it's impossible to have not have success.
Great book, Relentless. Remember the author name?
Not offhand.
Tim Grover.
Bingo. There you have it.
Don't smack him, Daniel. Don't smack him.
Absolutely. I know about Relentless. That's a great book about Kobe, everything. That's powerful.
Well, go ahead, since you got the mic right now, go ahead and give them what you spent a couple of coins on, book, Audible, course, something that is helping, sharpen your axe, so to speak.
Yes. So I love the 10X rule. I've been actually reading that by Grant Cardone. I think that's how you say his last name. But that book, I read it, but I didn't read it. And that's a difference to really read in it, to just read it and read it to really understand it. It just hits on just different topics of just really stepping your game up and really understanding, like, we have the information right in front of us. It's really just helping and applying yourself to that knowledge. So definitely the 10X.
10X. What you got, 2 Jackets?
I was going to say the 10X rule is definitely one of my favorites, only because it talks about, some of us are doing the activity and we may be really good at it, but maximizing it and doing it times 10. Everything you do should be times 10, right? That's how you maximize your results. Not just doing it if we talk about going through the numbers, you're talking to 2 and 3 prospects a day, but imagine 10Xing that, right? Closing in on how many more prospects you potentially could close by maximizing that. So, Danny, that's a really good book of choice. And the other thing, we're not talking about just books, but I am probably at most of the things that I feel that I should attend. And again, it's not just because I am a director, but I also want to show people that there's no excuse for why you can't do it. I was doing this far before I even got to this level, right? We were just at 7-figure school in May. Turn around, I was in the DR with a group of agents on a fam trip. Turned right around and was in Miami for Eagle Weekend. And, next month I'll be on another fam. And then August I'll be at ITQ for IntelliTravel. So you have to, in order for you to really be successful, you got to be around the things that are going to be able to pour that into. You have to be able to get around and be in those spaces. We can't pick and choose when we want to. Oh, the yacht party looks fun, we're going to go for the yacht party. That's the icing on the cake. You got to go to get the cake, right? You go to convention. We were going to convention because we wanted to get the information. That's how you're going to learn how to get ahead. A lot of people don't understand. That's why they don't pay for it, because they don't see value in any of this stuff. They don't quite understand what are they going to get. And you won't know if you don't get there, right? When I first got the Eagle Weekend, I made a promise to myself. I said, I'm never, and it's not because it's my birthday weekend, guys. Let me just preface that. But what I say is that the level of information I get at Eagle Weekend, because it's a smaller, intimate setting. When it started out being only 300 attendees, and then he increased it to 500 with a larger yacht, right? $40 million super yacht. That's the icing on the cake. That's the lifestyle. It gives people an opportunity to think about things. And I always tell people, I said, have any of your friends been on a yacht? How about a $40 million super yacht? One that DJ Khaled was just renting. Nah, they ain't never been on that. Exactly. So you have an opportunity to go and not only just be there, you get the experience. So you get to go live. We had an open bar. We had live entertainment. There was a DJ. There was a full buffet. I mean, I'm talking about bells and whistles, right? And again, Latasha, her first time on the $40 million super yacht at an Eagle Weekend with all of these intricate people that you see in trainings and other spaces. You now have an opportunity in a more intimate setting to have a casual conversation with these people. Convention, you see them, you can have a conversation, but there's now 4,000, 5,000 people, right? So now everybody's pulling at these individuals. Why wouldn't I want to go somewhere where it's a smaller subset of people and I could have a more in-depth conversation without them being bombarded?
And that's why Super Saturdays are so powerful, because there are many, many versions of those where you got 300 or 400 or 200 people. Your Super Saturday here, you got 175 people, all in the maybe in your surrounding area, like-minded, same energy. Is off the hook, and sometimes it only takes one little nugget from somebody to drop the aha moment into your life. They screwed the light bulb in the other way for you, and you're like, wow, I wasn't looking at it like that. And then regardless if we were selling you the same thing that they just said for 15 years, you made it to a smaller event and you heard someone from somewhere else say the same thing, and it boom, it resonated. And that one resignation in your head, because it's all mental, so that one change in the way you think has now changed your income from, a little something here to now for $2,000 or $3,000 extra dollars a month from a part-time business. This is gangster. Latasha, what you got? What you investing in? Is a book, is a course? We know it's about 7 things for you probably, but give us one.
Well, first, I want to say that if I had to say 3 things that really changed the trajectory of my business and how I thought about my business, to be 1, my coaches, 2, convention, and then reading. And I have not picked up a book, literally like to just sit and read a book since high school, probably, maybe college. But I think in college, I even skimmed the book. But it has changed my business so much. So I have finished this one, which is Get Over Your Damn Self. Oh, I'm blurred out. It's Get Over Your Damn Self by Romy Neustadt. I love that. She's very practical. She's to the point, and she really helps like with the prospecting and team building piece of it. But I also had a good friend that told me about the 4-hour work week, and that is by Timothy Ferriss. So one thing that I'm working on in my business is working on that 6-figure calendar. I'm working on making sure that I have, dedicated times and that I stick to those times. And this book right here really helps with understanding, he calls it the NR, how the new rich live in that calendar, and maybe like automating, but it's very helpful just on a personal level to help with my business.
I love it. Mr. Lillard, you already gave a book. I guess it's my turn. Goodness, there's so many books. The books that help change the trajectory. I like that word. First of all, let me start off by saying the 5 core books for our organization. The books, these aren't mandatory books. These are books that we highly, as Mr. Little would say, we highly recommend that you get them, right? There are others, but the 5 core books are gangster books. One of my favorite ones is The Compound Effect, right? This one deals with your mindset as it pertains to life in general and how you operate. And it helps eliminate the excuses of the things that you're doing for the right now, which is also why I like the book of the top 10 distinctions between the middle class and the millionaires. See, a lot of us are doing things for the right now because we're thinking about right now. We need an extra buck right now. Everything is right now, right? And the 2 books that I just named, they both have segments in it where they talk about the things that we should be doing got to be for the future, for the goal in mind, and so on and so forth. It's not the hamburger today, that's going to kill you, but it's the hamburger every day, that will kill you, right? So for your business, it's not that 5 minutes today that you didn't spend doing whatever you could have done, but it's that 5 minutes every day that because you think you need to give it 100, but you're not giving it the 5 minutes every day. Vice versa, the 5 or 10 minutes, if that's all you got, give it that 5 or 10 minutes every day. That 5 or 10 minutes today won't put $1,000 in your pocket. That 5 or 10 minutes today won't make you rich, and it won't pay for gas in your car. But that 5 or 10 minutes compounded over the course of the next year will far outweigh anybody listening to me right now that gave it 100 for a whole month and quit because it didn't work. And so those 2 books right there help shape your mindset for if you're going to be in business with the capital B, not self-employed, but business. There's another book for you. I'll give you The Cash Flow Quadrant, right? Understanding there's a difference between being self-employed and operating a business. If you are ITA only, you're operating like you want to be self-employed. Nothing wrong with that, but just understand that's what it is. If you're building the network like some of us are doing and dibbling in travel, then now you're with the big B. So those books is what I recommend. Good gracious, I love them books. Any books that you guys recommend? Anybody see any drop?
Tasha said she had one to add one more, I believe.
Go ahead.
Yep, and thank you for bringing up the cash flow quadrant, because if anybody is really struggling with getting started with your building your team side, a book that helped me by Robert Kiyosaki is The Business of the 21st Century. And he goes through the ESBI, the quadrant that Mr. Clifton was talking about, but he also talks about the network marketing industry or profession compared to other business structures. And so that was a helpful book. But I wanted to come back on here, Mr. Clifton, because you mentioned Audible and some of those audio books. Those are good. But if you prefer hardback books, there are many sites where you can get books for $2, $3, $5, Discover Books, Thrift Books, A Books. You don't even have to pay full price. They may be a little bit used, but the words are still the same. So if it's, if finances, or if you're saving up for Eagle Weekend and you want to get the used book, visit some of those sites that may not be full price, but you can still get the book.
I'm right on it. I'm looking in the comments to see if anybody dropped in another book. Maybe one of you.
I got one more. I'm dropping it on you guys and ladies. Just like to say, my favorite book all time is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That is my favorite book all time. It's a long read, but we're in business to do what? Win friends and influence. And so if we're struggling on how to influence people, that might not be a bad read for you, right? So I definitely recommend that book. But I do got a question for Latasha. Being in this business, there's new people on here watching us tonight, and some people have been around for a while that they are in planning marketing, right? And I do realize that in this industry, even in this company as well, when you go to an event, as such, the one that you went to, the Eagle Weekend, would you say that now planning marketing is in you?
That's good. I believe that planning marketing was in me before I went to Eagle Weekend, but it was helpful, right? It was definitely another piece to that. So did it add to it? Absolutely.
So when did that happen for you? What was that moment that you said, "Know what? It's in me now"?
When did I realize? I don't know if it was an actual moment, but from last convention, I always talk about convention, from my first experience at convention, I didn't want to stop plugging in, right? It was so powerful there. I think I had 2 people on my team, my brother and my cousin, and I left convention, and I took that to heart when they said, never miss an event that you're qualified to attend. And so if I could make it, I was there. I have friends all over. Actually, I went to Kansas City when Miss Scott were there, and I have friends out there. So I let them know I was coming. They couldn't make it, but they still signed up. And so now I have them in touch with Miss Bowie out there. So it's important that if I can get there, that I make it there. So I not only have business, but I got a chance to see my friends, and I got a business partner, and a real good one.
Who sponsored you?
Miss Mary Boone is my sponsor.
He tap dance. Yay! Excited. I would be too, but congratulations. Good for you.
That's fine. That's speaking of new business partners. I believe, and we were just talking about it not too long ago, as a direct result of attending an outside of the box event, Danielle, I believe you were able to sign up a new business partner within hours after the event was over. Go ahead and walk us through. I'm in my mind, I see you just on the side of the boat on social media, going live, and somebody's like, well, I wish I could be there, do that. And they inboxed you, and then you said you
that would be me.
So I was That's what I'm assuming happened, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you explain how did it happen? How did you go from being on the boat promoting to hours later new business partner?
Sir, she was on the yacht.
Absolutely.
She was not on the boat.
Oh,
It was a
okay,
yacht.
I'm sorry.
40 million mega yacht. Yeah, get that correct.
The yacht. Hey, Roger, they dropped the salt on you like that, right? I get it.
No, but I first want to give it up to Latasha because we were doing a 3-way call at Eagle Weekend. So I want to say hats off to you because like we really like got that call together. But when I returned the next day, yes. When I wasn't even expecting, like I was like, I hopped out of bed. I was like, oh, boom. Like I wasn't even expecting to get on there. But anyways, when I returned, one of my prospects that I have been prospecting for a while now, I have been following up with her because the fortune is in the follow-up. If you have not seen Mr. Scott's training, definitely check that out. But been following up with her. She's been giving me dates, but it's kind of been like we go around that date. But she just contacted me out of the blue, like just literally contacted me and was like, I need to be where you're at and I need to get started now. And so I had, was talking to Preston about like we did a game plan call and she was just like, I need to be where she's at. I need to be in that environment. I need to be there. And I was telling my team as well, like, if I had to, put some stuff aside to really get to the event, I had to, miss out on get my nails done and things like that. Like I had to really that was a thing that I needed to be there because I was like, this is going to be something I can't miss because I know that it's going to pop off. So yes, I use that time to really do some, advertising. And that was one of the things behind it was getting that new business partner because of attending that event, going live and really showing, that you don't have to be in business for yourself. You're in business. You're not in business for yourself. You're with a team. We do training, and they were still surprised they're like, what? You're in Miami for a training? I'm like, yeah, it's a business trip. So it was pretty much that. I mean, that's how I got my new business partner, literally that Monday morning.
So see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you intentionally. Me and Mr. Lillard was talking earlier about being intentional, right? You got to be intentional to make an investment into your business, whether it's for a book or so on and so forth. So when you're being intentional about putting yourself in the right position, what was it, basketball season? If you're not in the right position, how you gonna catch that pass to make the shot, right? How you gonna do it? Matter of fact, you can't even be on the court if you can't understand the plays. And how you gonna understand the plays if you were never in the training with the coaches on one of the Super Saturdays where we're training you on how to run these plays according to how you live your life? That's the best part about it, right? That was an example of a play being ran that she learned in a training, right? And she ran a play. And she ran it so smoothly. Look, it was one of those, what they call it when you do it unconsciously, subconsciously, right? She ran that play subconsciously, boom, and a 3-way call, boom, boom, the whole nine. She learned that and then put herself in position for it to work. That's gangster right there, Mr. Lillard. We got no excuses to not be at next Eagle Weekend with our phones recording, going live. But I promise you, the mini Eagle will be happening.
I'm not missing another one. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, bro. I'm not missing another one. One of the things that I love that event does, and I haven't been there, but I, because I've been doing it for a long time, I know what it does for your mental and for your business. It stretches you, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're not willing to stretch, neither will your team. If you have one, if you don't have a team, you are the team. So you got to stretch first. And most of us don't want to stretch ourselves. It's a challenge doing it, but we can't grow without one. We have to stretch ourselves. So I will be stretching myself, right? I don't care what position you're at in this business. Everyone still has opportunity and the space to be stretched. And so I won't miss that. I'm going to the convention.
That's funny you said that about the stretching, because I told, when I was getting back to my team, I said, I'll be here next year, but I need y'all to be here next year.
Right. Because again, your team would do what you do, and your team would do what you don't do. So
let me
if
talk
you
about
want your team to do what you want to do, then you have to do it yourself.
So let me talk about the additional stretch, because again, I talked about it earlier, is that we start at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So after the yacht event, there is a midnight meeting. So you go from 8 o'clock in the morning to probably getting the 2-hour nap, to change your clothes, to get ready for the pictures and the lineup for the yacht. And then you got the 3.5, 4-hour yacht party sailing all around. Then you get right off the yacht and you in a midnight training until 2 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock. Then there's the meeting that's after the meeting. So you done almost been up 24 hours.
Yeah.
Right? It's the stretch. It's to see who's really connected to the business, who really is hungry enough that ain't gonna complain. I mean, people went and got in the shower real quick. We had a little 30-minute break while people were still getting off. I was the first one out the door. I already knew what to expect. So I'm like, I'm going to change my clothes and I'm gonna go ahead and head downstairs. So the thing is, you know, when you understand its worth, you know, to be in the building and to not miss it. And I think for people like Latasha, who had no, you know, clue, hats off to her, because she was a trooper for real, for going through the entire day. She didn't complain. She had a notepad, a snack pack, her water. She was ready for it. The thing is you got to be prepared. But most people would complain about, we got to go to another training. It's midnight. I'm tired. We just had drinks. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because they wanted to get the information. And I think that, you know, both Danny and Latasha can both affirm that the information they got from the entire weekend was so very powerful. And for some people, it was much needed.
It was the Eagles.
Yeah, and I want to say a few things. So when you're hungry, you'll show up at the table, right? There was no complaining because I wanted to get everything that was being fed to me. Y'all know, you right, I had my snacks, but I wanted something a little different than physical snacks. I was ready. The other thing, when Ms. J.P. Watkins did her presentation, she talked about the eagle taking off the dead weight, like taking off the heavy feathers to reinvent himself so he can keep flying. And every event, it gets you more comfortable, right? The more events I go to, the more I feel comfortable about my business, and the more comfortable I feel about, you know, anybody who's talking negative about it, they don't bother me because I've been to some events. I see the legitness of what I'm doing, you know. So being able to go to, I got to experience Mr. Bradley's heart. Like, I knew he already had a heart of gold to even give us that pledge, but to really hear him and pour into us, he doesn't have to, right? The founder of our company, millionaire 50 times over, he does not have to do that. But he took the time, he sat down. I think Danny was like third or fourth in his line, but he took the time to sit back into us and pour into us. And that was powerful.
Got to be in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking again this evening, guys and gals, on investing in yourself, investing into your business, the importance of doing so, attending these events and so on and so forth. And when I'm listening to you guys speak, you know, I'm always thinking about this way my mind works. So I'm thinking about, imagine, if you would, the person that wanted to pursue a particular career path, like, I don't know, you just name one, right? That you need further education to get. And let's just say, let's say it's a doctor. In some kind of way, you get the position of being a doctor because you paid for the little shop, you open up yourself a spot, and now you got this doctor's office. You're the quote unquote doctor, but you don't have any skills in being a doctor yet, right? You don't have any. You can get customers and clients simply by advertising. Anybody can do that, right? You paid the money for the little spot. Anybody can do that. But now, you know, what's you maybe you want to specialize in what they're doing now, the chiropractic stuff, breaking people's backs and joints and stuff like that. You know they do, Daryl. That's how they do it, right? So now, in order for you, even if it's massage therapy, you have to now learn this new skill set. And 99% of the time, it's not free. You're gonna go pay for that one. For the ladies to get hair done. I don't care how good you was doing hair. They then came out with a new way to do the skinniest braids you ever seen in your life, right? Or the new way to do some hair. And you got to pay some person for a course to learn that. I want y'all to speak really quickly on the importance of understanding or putting aside the money for that extra investment into your business. And it doesn't even have to be for something that you're learning something. It could be something as simple as marketing, right? It could be something as simple as like my hat, right? This someone out there is not willing to pay the extra $20 to put something on the hat, to spend some outside money. That's what I'm getting to. They're not willing to spend the outside money on building their business. They think that the only investment I got to make into my business is that $60 a month overhead, and everything else should come for free. Anybody can talk on that.
I'll go. One of the things, I talk about in some of my trainings is professional industries require continued education units, right? That simply means that as trends are changing, that could be in the field of auto mechanics, it could be tax preparation, it could be cosmetology and barbering, it could be even education. You have to go and acquire a certain number of continued education courses, and they cost you. Some of them are hundreds of dollars, but in order for you to remain certified and a professional in that industry, you have to do so. So I always tell people, if you expect yourself to be called or looked at as a professional, you have to invest in yourself as one. Some of us don't care what that cost is because we understand that we're going to get the return on our investment simply by investing in ourselves. And the output is going to come when we go and take these classes, or we show up at these events, or we make a way for these things to happen. So I would say that.
Anybody else? What you got?
Well, I'll jump on this one. I understand events, investments in events in this industry of network marketing will create a huge financial opportunity for everybody that's listening on tonight. So if you're just getting started, maybe finance a little tight at the time for you. So we have events, right? And everything's an event. So if you're not on a Zoom like tonight's Zoom, because you don't have a guest, that's the event that you're qualified to be on. You should be on that, supporting that event. So the Zooms are free. Then, of course, then we have the local meetings. If you don't have one in your area, make sure you're on the Zooms, right? So then we have the local meeting. Those are $10. If you can, if you're not working in the evening, you want to attend that event, support that event as well. Then we have the Super Saturday events, right? So the people who are investing their time and investing in the small events will help you pay big money in this industry. The mega events will help you make mega income in this industry. So you just work your way up until you're able to attend the major events, but you should be attending events on a regular basis and that you're qualified to attend.
And with that, Mr. Lillard, so the trainings in our Planet Marketing business will teach you how to get $50, how to get $100. Those are free, right? So you go to your back office, you learn the system, and then you start building your team. You'll get $50 for every person you bring in, and then you can start generating some cash, right now. And it's travel is cool, right? But you don't get that until Thursday. Put a down payment, then they have to take the trip. So maybe months before you get your money from travel. But you give somebody in, you won't get paid the following week, right? So I would say that use what you have until you can get there. Use the free, just like Mr. Lillard said. But what are the first two letters in the word income? What's the first two letters in the word investment? Like, you have to put something in. Like I hear this thing all the time. You can't be a secret agent. Even if you don't have the money and the funds right now to spend on a lot of the tangibles, you can go in your back office and IntelliTravel has blogs that you can put on your social media page, but you can't be a secret agent because no one knows that you're a travel agent or that you have a travel business or that you can even help them get free by opening up their own business because they don't even know that you're doing it. So that's my 2 cents.
And I also want to say is like it's good to get to directorship and everything, but like it's saying, in order to be a real director, you need to produce other directors. So you gotta like, it's good. And I always tell my team, like, it's lonely at the top. So being able to like have that wisdom and knowledge and everything and want to be able to share that with the team, but also letting them know is like, I need you to be here at the next one and I need you to bring people with you as well. So like they all have mentioned, like you have to continue to plug in, but you also have to make sure you're being a great leader because you brought those people in and you made a decision at the end of the day that you wanted to build a business. And so staying plugged in, really connecting with the leaders. I mean, our platinum network, y'all, is amazing. Like patient, leverage, attitude, training, integrity, networking, and unity. Like that's everything we all are. Like just plugging into everything. Like if you're on this team and you're not winning, like you're not on the next level or trying to get to the next level, you're just kind of babysitting. Like I don't like the knowledge is here. Like we got great leaders, support, like just being surrounded by the people at the leadership conf or at the Eagle Weekend. I'm like, dang, like us platinum, like we are like really like kicking everything. Like we have great leaders in travel and marketing. Like we are killing the game. So if you're not plugging in, you're missing out. Like you already missed it.
Not plugging in, you are missing out, and you have practically, as you just said, already missed it. We talked about something else briefly a second ago, which was duplication. You need to invest in getting yourself some duplication. What is that? If you don't have duplication in this industry, all you have is a job that you pay for. You pay $200 for a new job. The job of a travel agent, but then you don't want the job, you wanted freedom. You know, that freedom sounds really good, and you can't get freedom unless you got duplication. Not in this industry. You can make some money without duplication, but you won't get freedom because you are the person that got to do everything you wear in every hat, and no one is doing what you're doing. And sometimes you got to ask yourself, if you're busy doing a bunch of stuff, are you doing stuff that's not duplicatable? I can raise my hand every now and again. I'll find myself doing some things because I can do it and it's cool for me. I can get it done. I can make money from it, but it's not duplicatable. So all I've created is a job. That's what I'm going to leave you with. We're going to go around with closing remarks. What you want to leave the people, your any point that you want to leave them with. We're going to go with ladies first again. We're going to start with our newbie, Miss Latasha. Go ahead and give the people your closing remarks. Anything you want to leave with?
Yeah, so I know this platform was talking about events, and we hear all the time, price is what you pay, value is what you get. And while we were talking, I thought about even just our rooming together with Danielle. I have an accountability partner now, right? So it's the intangibles. Just take that first step. Just go to one. And keep going.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off what she said. Definitely leadership. Like grasp upon your leadership and go in with them. Find out what you're doing wrong. Find out what you can do more of. And then just really plug in with your leadership. They're going to help you get to the next level.
Awesome. 2 jackets.
I'm gonna leave y'all with a scroll. No, I'm just kidding. No, I would say, find out what it is you really want from this opportunity. It is far more than just a travel opportunity. it is, for some people, it is life changing. And I think that when you understand what it is you want from the opportunity, you will determine how much of yourself you're going to give to it, to the process, right? To allowing yourself to be open, to be poured into, to be coached, to be stretched, to be pulled. Because a lot of the times we're comfortable where we are. And for some of us, we make really decent money on our jobs, and it's not about the money. We did it because somebody asked us to join. Well, what if you at least tried to be great, right? What would that look like? What does that feel like? So sometimes you got to put yourself in a position to figure out what exactly you want from this opportunity, and then ask around, what is it I should be doing? What should I attend? Okay, I got this money. We think about, January through March, April-ish, you start getting, get tax returns. Guess what? Well, this business helped you to get a larger tax return. So why can't you take a few $100s and reinvest it into the business that helped you get that? So sometimes we just got to figure out what's going to work for us and stop spending all of the money that we make from our business. And for those who haven't made any, you got to go to your coaches. You got to figure out, what am I not doing right? Got to have conversations. Because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, but you think you have an idea. And usually those people who think that they have all of the answers, they don't. Because if they did, they'll be further along in your business. One of the things Natalie Graham said, and she said it a couple of times, she said people always come to her and say, I want to be a director. She said, no, you don't. Because if you did, you would be one. You have the same opportunity. You paid the same $200. We got the same systems. So what's stopping you? So I'll leave you with that.
What's stopping you? Go ahead, Mr. Lillard. Your closing remarks.
I'm going to try to be short of Daryl, but I'm actually going to piggyback a little bit off of Daryl, but be a little bit different. Tonight we talked about 10X, and tonight we talked about stretching. I want to talk about vision real quick. Vision. We have to stretch our vision. And if you have a little vision, your business will have little business. It'll be small. You want your business to be big, or you want it to be little? So what helps me have a really big vision is I understand. After tonight, everybody's going to understand about this industry of networking. Our company's at 73,000. I'm trying to keep this short. We're at 73,000. In the industry of network marketing, when a company hits 100,000 is when critical mass is achieved. Y'all, we haven't even scratched the scratch yet on where we're going this company. Most companies have 300, 400, up to 500,000 agents, business partners in their companies. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. Right now, there's only 3 people at a 6-star director. There will be 40, 50 people at 6-star director. And so if you have a big vision, see, that's what I'm fighting for while I'm breathing. Live this life one time. And there's no opportunity outside of what I'm doing that will allow me to be able to reach that, right? And be able to earn that and leave it for my kids after I leave here. So I just want to leave y'all with that. Have a big vision.
Have a big vision. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that are listening to us and the sound of our voice. We appreciate your partnership. We thank you for jumping on the What's the Word Wednesdays. Again, we do our very best. We hope we have motivated you, encouraged you, inspired you, gave you some type of a practical nugget that you can use for your business. If you start reading those books, apply what you have learned, you'll see what happens into your income situation. We promise you that, right? And oftentimes, I can only speak for myself when you guys hear me talking about some of the things I'm talking about. I be talking to myself too, right? Because we're not perfect sitting here. There's some things that we got to get together, and me and Mr. Lillard got to get together and get to the daggone Eagle Weekend. But look, no excuses, right? Me and Mr. Lillard can't use the fact that we've been in the industry 50 years, right? And we've been to 1,000 Eagle Weekends. So why do we, we don't have to attend this one, right? I'm not saying that's how we thinking. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, there's no excuse, right? You find your Eagle Weekend. You missed this one. The next one might be the convention. When's Bradley coming to town before we jump off?
August 13th.
August the 13th, right? See, so even if maybe you can't make it to the convention. Maybe you missed Eagle Weekend. Your next Eagle Weekend is the moment when Mr. Bradley comes into town, right? Put that on your calendar. put it on your, actually write it down, put it on your calendar, and then plan for it, right? Save for it. Call your boss now and say, I can't go to work on that Saturday, or it's a Saturday. Let your kids know, hey, ain't gonna be no playground, no Six Flags, no park. You from 10 to 2 or whatever the hours are, you're planning for it now. Let the atmosphere and the world know that you're doing it. See, some of us will wait until, August 1st to figure out, well, let me see what I got going on, right? But we won't do our Christmas vacation that way. So let's plan for it. I'm speaking to myself, right? I got to put it in my calendar so that we can make sure we make that event. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on, what Wednesday is this? It's the third one. We're going to see you on first Wednesday of next month. We do this first and third Wednesdays. So again, we appreciate you all. Share this with someone else. And we are out.